All right, let's do it. Justice!
Order in the court. Order in the court. It's time for Justice with Sweet James.
Yeah! What's poppin', Sweet James? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you boys?
You sound good. You sound good. So is there any...
When's he going to jail, James? When does he have to show up? How long is he going away for? What kind of plea agreement did you reach?
That is so funny. No,
you know
man,
what? I don't want to hear
fine.
my lawyer cackling over my eminent demise. That doesn't make me feel good.
He's not going to prison. He's just going to jail.
Is that
right?
your demeanor when
jail,
you visit
Petros.
an inmate? Is that
He's going to jail.
If I ask to see my lawyer and I'm in jail and we're on those phones with the glass between us, are you just going to laugh in my face?
No, you're going to be looking through the window and the steel door and see him cackling with the guard. Wondering, what the hell are they doing?
Pointing his thumb behind him like, this freaking idiot. James, is Matt right? What's the update? Is there an update?
I love it that money gives you such a bad time.
He's going
You
to the
are
pokey.
fine. Petros, you are right to tell your wife not to worry.
Yeah.
You are fine, brother.
Yeah.
That's
You're
it.
fine.
Oh, how convenient. He has no details to offer you. He's got no specifics. He's just telling you you're fine.
You know, it's funny.
Go ahead. You believe him.
We don't have a court appearance until April.
Yeah,
and
Matt.
we're submitting a bunch of information. We're submitting a bunch of demands on the city, and Officer Peterson.
We're going to
if
break
he's
their
listening-
back with paperwork.
That's right. We're going to crush those
You
Yeah.
are going to anger that officer.
Oh,
he's
he's
going to
gonna
bring
get
up
mad.
your priors,
Maybe we should just pay it.
your reckless behavior in the carpool lane,
Maybe-
that rake that flew out of the back of your Chevy
That
Silverado.
never happened.
Hit that poor bicycler on Western. You didn't hear
Money,
about
I
that,
can't
James?
have
you
you
didn't know?
besmirch my client, Petros Papadakis.
Yeah, stop it, Matt. You know,
You
listen.
You don't know what you're representing, James.
The point is this. There's not a court date till April.
That's
Don't worry
right.
about
And
it,
Money,
Matt.
you're going to
Yeah.
need me one day.
Yeah.
You are going to
You know
need
what?
me one day,
I
Money.
would love to use you one day, but your reputation will be sullied by this client that you have chose to represent.
I'm not that bad of a guy. So I was right to tell my wife, don't. Actually, I ran to the Sonos and put on Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy and started dancing around the house with high kicks in my underwear, telling her, don't worry, Sweet James is on the case. I don't want to upset CHP, James. So if we have to settle, at like $100 or something with the
$100.
city.
I'm talking about selling him with 1 day in jail. $100. I mean, come on.
All right, Sweet James, let's talk about internet weirdos. There's nobody that gets more trolled than me, and I put it upon myself with the Secret Textoso line, which now has a sponsor. But increasingly, athletes who engage people, or just famous people who engage normal people on the internet, are always coming out on the poo end of the stick, basically, because you look like an idiot just condoning that kind of behavior with a response. Kurt Schilling has gone after people who verbally attacked his daughter on Twitter, and he got a guy fired. So if I'm that guy that got fired, I was using free speech to attack a man's daughter on Twitter, I get fired for it. Can I go after old bloody sock, red sock Kurt Schilling?
Not really. No, you really can't. I mean, free speech does apply, but that's the government's restrictions on you. Your employer can tell you, I don't want you to Twitter. I don't want you to do this or that. And if you do it, you can get fired. But this guy might bring a case against Kurt Schilling just for publicity's sake, but as his legal remedies are very, very limited.
James,
really.
help us out, because this comes up regularly in talk radio, not just sports talk, but people that try to apply the First Amendment for a reason that someone should not be terminated. As an attorney, how hard is it to prove that someone was terminated just by using their right to free speech and it was a wrongful termination?
You know, California is an at-will state, meaning you can be fired at any time for any reason, unless those reasons are protected. And those protections are due to your race, gender, sexual orientation, those sort of things. But if you're just the average run-of-the-mill guy and your boss says, don't you dare wear a Boston Red Sox shirt to work, and you do, and you get fired, and you say, hey, I'm just expressing my First Amendment rights, my free speech, so that I can wear a Boston Red Sox shirt, and you're fired, you're screwed. Yeah, you're fired. Your boss told you not to wear it, and you did. See you later.
So when it comes to free speech in the workplace, I should say, this is one where I assume their case is going to be, this wasn't in the workplace. This was somebody on their own time exercising their right to free speech through social media. How does that work with an employer that fires someone for doing something that isn't on company time and is covered by the Free Speech First Amendment?
You know, it's still going to apply. The employer still has the discretion. Do I want to keep this guy on my payroll or not? Here's a guy who stirs up a bunch of controversy. I don't want that controversy on my business, associated with my business. I can let this person go. At least in California, it's an at-will employment. Any reason, no matter how ridiculous it might be, as long as it's not one of those protected issues, race, gender, sexual orientation, they're free to do that. They're free to let you go.
You're listening to the Dense Beard of Justice, my shield, like the NFL is the shield for everybody under the shield. James Bergener and that Dense Beard of Justice is my shield in the world of justice. 800-881-2021 if you want to be protected by the same shield. I believe Matt has another free speech question.
I got one more.
Was it about defaming your radio partner because saying he's going to jail?
Yeah. We'll get to that again next week. What about all the Facebook stuff? The people getting fired for posts on their Facebook page. Same deal?
Same deal. And, this is weird because this is like a new emerging area of law. I mean, society is changing. The internet is changing a lot of things. And so employers and the employment law field is being inundated with these sort of lawsuits. And so they're invariably coming back in favor of the employer as long as it's not one of those protected issues. So, watch what you post. Watch what you do. Be civil. Be human.
We'll talk about lumber liquidators next week.
The great,
awesome,
sweet James Bergener. On my court date in April, Matt's going to be on the other side of the aisle with a suit on. And
I got a derby. Yeah, I got a three-piece suit.
Getting his papers all ready. The great, sweet James Bergener, the Dense Beard of Justice. SweetJames.com, @SweetJamesLaw on Twitter, or 800-881-2021. A dear friend of great sports talk. There's no doubt.
Great sports talk.
All right, sweet James. We'll talk to you soon. If Matt tries to hit me with a cactus in the desert, we're going to go after him and sue his ass.
You'll have to extradite me.
We will find you money.
We'll call that crazy sheriff. What's the name of that wacky sheriff out there?
Oh, that's right. What is his name?
Arpaio. Yeah, Joe
Arpaio's
coming after you. Going to put you in a pink jumpsuit, man. All right, thanks, James.